Shit, I'm here. Here to stay.
Uh huh. What I tell him?
Let's get it. I could sell some shit, just had to learn how to stack it. I feel like AI, he would've went to that practice. I like my bitches classy, but I stay with a ratchet. Had more down than I had up, and now I'm finding a balance. Talk shit, I scar your lip, and I ain't talking a challenge. I'm 7 feet, they 5'9", because I'm way above average. Yeah, and I don't fit no man, cause they all bleed like I bleed. Not necessarily like me, I mean, you know what I mean. Yeah, cause I be moving different. Cleaner than some laundry, do you dirty like the dishes. Props don't feel like I get it. I don't be like, fuck it, I get it.
Boom.
I can never judge myself off what I heard from the critics. It be feeling like
Wagwan, my youth. No, for real though. What's up, y'all? Yo, thank you for tuning back into another episode of Don Talk Podcast. Once again, I'm always glad that you guys come back and watch. Or if you're new, welcome to the Don Talk family. I appreciate it. I think over the past few weeks, I've just been like very grateful. Even today, like as I was getting everything set up, I was like, man, I'm just so grateful that I have a space, one, where I can be myself and like I can be open, I can share things, and it's not a problem, so I love that, and I'm putting my life out there just to kind of give other people an understanding of who I am, and some of the best ways for them to be great, because my story might be very similar to someone else's, and all I have to do is keep telling it, because I don't know who it can reach. It might not be someone in America, it could be someone on the opposite side of the world, you know what I mean? So yeah, I've just been very grateful over the last few weeks and stuff. Like really, I've been more grateful over the past few years, but I think just kind of like with new changes and more growth, like more learning opportunities and stuff is very helpful for me. So yes, thank you guys. It's always appreciated. And speaking of being grateful, I think that is one of the factors of, something that we're going to talk about today, which is confidence, right? So I know for me, I'll give y'all like a little backstory. So I struggled with my confidence when I was growing up, just because like I always looked at myself a certain way, and I was never like, I was like, oh, like I wear glasses, and I was very insecure. So I think that was a huge struggle for me. But being at the point now, where like I don't care as much, right? The goal is to get to a point where I completely give no fucks about who thinks what about me, because, I have my moments, but I want it to be something that is steady within me. Like I don't have absolutely any doubt or whatever, like in my mind, in my body. But yeah, we're working there. It's a process. It's a journey. So I will say, man, yeah, like I was very insecure with myself. I didn't really believe in myself much. I was doubting myself, and since I was a middle child, I was always getting in trouble. I'll say that, and being the middle child, feeling left out as well, that didn't help either. So yeah, I never really believed in myself until I guess I got to school, to college, and I was like, damn, like I'm here. I don't want to be here. But yeah, man, I didn't know what to do. People, and then like when I had my whole thing of like, damn, I want to drop out, and I was told to finish, I was like, you know what, like let me just do it. And bro, like when I turned my GPA around, like I went from getting like D's, C's, D's, and F's to, I forget what semester it was, but it was definitely either like, I think it was my junior year, and I got like A's and B's for the first time. I was like, holy shit, like, damn, this is like, it felt great. and not to say like the letters gave me that validation, but it was just like one seeing that it was like, okay, if I'm at a low point in my life to where what's normal for me is like getting low grades, and then to see a turnaround, it was like, okay, like if I apply myself, then it'll work out, So I think that was a big piece, just learning to apply myself a lot more. I definitely gained that skill from college. So as much as I don't know why I'm yawning so much, because I'm not even tired, but I think if I didn't go to college, like as much as I say, I don't want to push college on my kids or like anybody else's kids, I'm grateful for the experience because of one, the people I met, but two, learning how to, deal with shit when I don't want to, like putting up with other people's bullshit. Like I learned a lot about that. Not in school, but like more so at work when I was working at Guitar Center and stuff. Like I really had to put up with a lot of people's bullshit, and I didn't like it, but it had to be done. So I get it. What else? Yeah, I do think I gained some very important skills at college. So shout out college, but again, I'm not pushing that on anybody. Do it if you want, but that's not something I would say, yeah, go and have the experience. I would say go if you know exactly what you want to do, because then that makes better instead of getting a degree in something you'll never use like I did, right? But speaking of degrees, I went to this networking event this past Friday, and I met this guy. So this guy, like me and him connected when the event was kind of like over, but we connected and we were just kind of talking about my job, and I told him, I work in a school now, so that's kind of like the direction I feel that I'm going in. And he was like, yeah, you should look into schools or like into colleges for like grad programs for being a school psychologist or like school psychology. You should look into that. And I was like, dang, like, that was kind of, I never knew about that. Like I had thought about like a guidance counselor or a counselor of some sort, but school psychologist, I was like, damn, that seems very interesting. Let me look into that. So he actually sent me something, I think the next day. So what would have been Saturday. No, I lied. It was later that day. He sent me a link, and it just has some information about like school psychology and all that. So, I gotta, peruse through that to, just learn a little bit more, because I am interested. Like the work that I'm doing now, in special ed, it's interesting, to learn, well, to one, observe everything, but to two, just kind of like I'm directly in it, as opposed to, people just hearing about it or talking about kids from what other people have seen, like from what, like, I guess secondhand information. Like I'm getting the information firsthand. So yeah, wow, that kind of got off on a tangent a little bit, but yeah. So basically, like back to what I was saying, just, I'm more grateful for everything. And I want to say that is probably the first step in being more confident, just being thankful and grateful for what you have, because then what you have, the positive stuff, the negative stuff, that it's all worked out or didn't work out for the best, right? That's how I look at life. When you meet people, there might be someone you're really attracted to or something you really want, but that doesn't always mean that you need it. So for me, if I shoot my shot with someone and I get rejected, okay, next. Like I'm in the headspace of like, I don't care if I get rejected and like stuff doesn't work out. Like it is what it is. I don't care. I'm not fixated on, dang, like I didn't get that. Damn, am I wrong? No, like I'm doing great. No means next opportunity. So what I wanted, or what I thought I wanted, or what I thought I needed might not have been for me, but it was preparing me for the next opportunity, the next situation to come about. So yeah, that's what we're doing. That's how I think, right? But aside from being grateful, something else that you can do to, really build your confidence is to, just stop comparing yourself to others. I feel like I've definitely touched on this a little bit. Like, man, it's hard, because I will say, like, there are times I see people and I'm like, damn, like I gotta get it together, right? Man, I'm turning 27, bro. Like, I don't need to rush. Like, someone I follow is Gary Vee. Gary Vee is very good with that, because, society has always told people, like, once you get to 30, you have to have everything figured out and all that stuff. But Gary Vee is like, no, fuck all that. Like, 30 is still young. Like, you could turn 30, make mistakes for 10 years, be 40, and still be good. Like, you can start over when you're 40, and that's fine. 40 is still young. You know what I'm saying? So it's how you think about it. So yeah, like, you're able to make mistakes and be okay. Like, it's okay to make the mistakes. Like, you're fine. Like, no one's life is perfect. All the stuff you see on social media, like, is not real, or like, people aren't really showing their full selves, their true selves. Like, they're just showing what looks good. Like, not everybody, because I mean, the people I follow, I follow genuine people who post or talk about, like, real life stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like Wallow, Eric Thomas, Big Sean. Like, those are inspirations for me. Those are people who are real good role models for me, because they embody what I want for myself in my future, right? To have a certain work ethic, to know how to hustle, to be, Big Sean and, like, Eric Thomas, like, they're family men. Eric Thomas is married. He's been married, like, maybe 30 years or something like that. He's been married for a long time. And, that's something that I love. Like, I want to follow male role models or male figures who embody, a wholesome man, or like a family man, a married man, and stuff like that. Like, that's the kind of positivity I want. So yeah, man, like, in terms of not comparing yourself to other people, you got to run your own race. I think about it like track. When you can't run your best time if you're looking to the right or left. Like, you gotta focus on the finish line. That's what you gotta do. When you worried about who's running next to you, who's passing you, that's when you lose, right? Even in, horse racing, when they put the blinders on, like, they put the blinders on the horses so that they're focused on, like, the finish line and nothing else. So that's what you got to do. You got to put your blinders on, man. Put your blinders on and lock in with what you got to do. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Create your own environment, your own table, your own space. Do all that, and everyone that's meant for you is going to show up along the way. Good or bad. I'll say that, because, a lot of people think, oh, well, if I meet someone and, it's not the best relationship, I met that person for no reason. No, you met them for a reason. You met them so that you know what to avoid moving forward. You know how to set up your boundaries moving forward. So that's one, right? And going back to, the next one is, like, I'm going to go back a little bit to talking about, Eric Thomas and, the male role models I follow. You want to surround yourself, for, like, if you're on social media, fill your timeline up with people who inspire you. Like, I have my friends who, I met in college. I love them. I want to see what they're doing. I want to celebrate their wins and stuff, right? I have, I guess, certain celebrities. I don't have a whole lot of celebrities, but I have certain celebrities who, if they're artists, right, they make music, they make music that I listen to that's positive music that, you know, doesn't only talk about drugs, like having a bunch of sex with different women and stuff, and, you know, like all that like flashy stuff. Like, I don't need artists in my life that talk about that stuff. Like, that's not helpful for me. But Big Sean talking about his family, that might seem boring to a lot of y'all. I don't give a damn. I like that. Let me hear the real shit, the shit you've been going through, because that helps me relate better to you. It makes me feel like I know you. So that is something that like pushes me or propels me to, you know, like want to consume your product or your content, whatever. Because, you know, you're pushing out good messages. Eric Thomas, motivational speaker. He's helping people get right in personal development. Yes, I'm big on personal development. So I want to focus on, you know, studying and learning what I need to know about how to improve myself so I can move better moving forward with social interactions, with entrepreneurship, like with the podcast and stuff. Like, I want to know all this stuff, right? So that's 2. The next one, I feel like it's fairly simple. You know, just take care of your body, take care of your temple. That's another way, because, like, you know, we've heard the saying, if you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you do good, right? Man, y'all see the boy. I got the haircut. I'm walking on clouds right now. You can't tell me nothing for at least the next 2 weeks minimum. So I'm gonna be acting a fool, like, you know, and this is something that makes me feel good. I can go my periods without getting a haircut, and I still feel confident in myself. Like, I know I can still go out, have a good time, or do whatever. But when I get that haircut, man, I know, shout out to my brothers that feel the same, because, man, when you get that haircut, you step out the chair, and your hairline is crispy. Your barber done did it. You gotta dap them up, like, for real. And it's a beautiful thing, man. Like, when you take care of yourself, like, you know, getting a haircut, go getting a massage, go get a facial, go to the spa, bro. Like, when I would go to the spa a couple years ago, like, that was the best experience I ever had. It was so, like, I had my schedule once a month, and I loved it. Like, I felt so good, and, you know, that is something I want to get back to when I have the funds and stuff. So when my bank get back up right, yeah, for sure, I'm gonna get that right. Let's see. So not only that, because I feel like that is a lot of self-care as well, but, you know, other things that go into taking care of your body is like your diet. You know, make sure you're eating right, because you gotta make sure that what you're putting into your body is healthy. Like, also at that I should have got more information on it, but also at that the event I went to on Friday, there was a lady there, and she was saying, you know, how many, like, she asked the question of, like, how many people know their blood type. I was like, damn, I don't know my blood type. So if you know your blood type, that's good, right? But I guess you got to eat certain foods that fit your blood type and stuff. And I don't know, that was like a crazy thing. So because I never knew that. Like, I don't know my blood type. So you know, but I want to learn. So I want to see if there's a way to get her information, because that seems like it's very helpful. And they do, I guess, like body scans and stuff, so they can tell you like what's going on with your body. Like, if you're having kidney problems or stomach problems, whatever, like, they can tell you that through the scan. So I don't know, man. I want to, if I find out more information on that, I'll happily post it, because I totally I didn't do my job and network with her like I should have. But yeah, oh wait, hold on. I think it was like flat belly something. Damn, now it's gonna bother me. I have to look it up. I'll find it, and I'll put it in the comments. Yeah, cause that was very powerful. But yeah, so, you know, your diet, exercise, like, take care of your body, man. I don't exercise like I should anymore, but I'm still in pretty good shape, I'd like to think. I can't run a marathon, right? Or just go into the gym and bench 2 plates. But I know that I'm still moving around. Like, I'm not being overly sedentary and stuff. Like, I'm getting blood flowing and stuff like that. So I think that is still important. You know, you want to make sure you take care of your body. And when you look good, like if you go to the gym and you take care of your body and you see your body transform, that's going to boost your confidence all the way up. For real. And like, I don't know, man, it's so beautiful. So to see your body just kind of like, I don't want to say change in front of you, but change in front of you. Like when your body develops into something, I guess the picture that you saw in your head, that's a beautiful thing. So yeah. Something else that I want to, like, another way to take care of your body, I guess, is like meditation. I don't know how many of y'all like actually meditate. I feel like, I don't know, it's hard for me to meditate, or like at least slow down during the day. Like I don't know. But if you do meditate and stuff, like shout out to you. Or you know, yoga, I think that's probably like another good tool to use. But also like sleep. So I guess I will, like, this kind of ties in with the meditation. So I have the Balance app, and at night there's a setting like for sleep, and I can set that on. I put it on for an hour. It doesn't take me an hour to fall asleep, but I just like to have it just in case. So I have that going for an hour. And yeah, it just kind of like, not tells a story, but it's just like having me be mindful of my body. Like it sometimes it's different every time, but it's like, oh, like when you get into bed, like take a deep breath and just let your body like relax into your bed, melt into your bed. It's like, oh, just wear the do you have a cover on? Like, is it one cover? Is it a comforter as well? Or like, what isn't covered? Like, how are you sleeping? Are you sleeping on your side, on your back? And it's like, it's just kind of talking. And I don't know, like, it's something about that that's calming as well. It helps me relax so I can go to sleep at night. And yeah, I feel like it definitely helps. It definitely helps me. I want to, when you subscribe, if you subscribe, you can like do different ones. They have different ones, but I'm just using the free plan right now. So yeah, I don't have too many options, but they do have a lot. So the Balance app, you know, check that out for sure. To go back a little bit to the surrounding yourself with positive people. When you have the right people around you, they're going to celebrate you and you're going to feel better, right? So it's something that I'm certain I used this in a different episode recently, but like, go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated. Like, if you feel like people get annoyed with you or whatever, like you don't feel like you fully fit in, man, you don't need to be around those people. Be around people who celebrate your wins. My friends from college, we celebrate everybody's wins. Like, whenever people do stuff, like, we celebrating them. It's their birthday, we all say happy birthday and stuff, you know, so it's cool. Like, it's real family-esque, and I love that, you know. So yeah, just make sure you got the right people around you. But yeah, that was that piece. I wanted to tie that off. I feel like I didn't even say that. So, but back to the next one, which is, you know, just be kind to yourself, man. Like, give yourself grace, because everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days. Shout out to Hannah Montana for those that know. But yeah, man, it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to mess up. Like, I mess up all the time. I'm confident in it. I know, like, if I'm not making a mistake, I'm not, like, you're not doing it right if you're not making mistakes. That's my opinion. I know other people would agree. So for my job, one of the kids that I work with, he's a runner. So he'll literally, like, if I'm not in a certain position, like if I'm not standing close to the door, he'll get up and he'll run. Like, he'll just run through the building. Like, he doesn't leave the building, but he'll just run through the building. and like try to hide. And I can't chase him because he'll think we're playing a game. So I literally have to like walk when I see him. But as soon as I don't see him anymore, that's when I run to try to get eyes on him. But yeah, like I have a walkie and we try to like corner him and stuff. So, but yeah, it's even with that, like that was something that they told me. They were like, he runs from everybody. So, you know, the fact that you started out, and I think when I first started, I think he got away from me maybe like a couple times, and they were like, that's great that it was even 2 times. But so on Thursday, the lead teacher was out and he got away from me 5 times. And I thought that was a record, but when the lead teacher came back the next day, she was like, yeah, no, that's not the record. But it was like, we all knew it was because she wasn't there. So, you know, I get that. Like, I'm not bothered by it, but, yeah, it's like, all right, he got away from me. Damn. Like, I feel bad, but at the same time, it's like, man, that happens to everybody. Like, you're learning, like, and I'm picking up on his triggers and stuff. So certain things in the room, I know how to sit now. So like, I always sit on the side that's closer to the door so that if he does try to run, like, he has to get by me, and if he does get by me, then it's like, all right, like, I can keep my eyes on him. But it's easier to prevent him if I'm sitting closer to the door. So yeah, so there's that. But yeah, I'm very kind to myself. Like, I'm very understanding. I understand that I'm not always, like, I'm not the best at anything. Like, there's always room to learn. So I'm very grateful and very, like, kind to myself. I give myself a good amount of grace, because I know that I have so much to learn, and I'm not perfect, and that's okay. It's okay to, it's okay to not be perfect. It's okay to not be okay either. So that's all stuff you got to be comfortable with talking about. So another thing that I want to mention that you should do that kind of ties in with this is practicing positive self-talk, right? You got to talk to yourself nicely. And I've definitely mentioned this, like, when you joke with yourself about, oh, like, I'm stupid, your body doesn't know that's a joke. So it's going to take that seriously, and you're, like, low-key wiring yourself to believe that. So when stuff does happen, when adversity pops up, that's what your mind goes to. It's like, oh, like, I'm stupid, I can't do it. So that's why for me, like, in the moment, I'm always like, damn, like, he got away from me or whatever. Like, something went wrong. Like, I'm at fault. I take accountability for everything just because I'm like, I'm not putting the blame on anybody else, but I still do have to give myself that grace of, damn, this happened. I messed up, but it's okay. Like, you're learning, and not everything is going to be perfect right away. Like, you have to learn and gain the skills. So yeah, just be kind to yourself, and how you talk to yourself, man. Like, do affirmations if you need to. So speak positivity into yourself, into your morning, so that you start the day like that. I start my weeks on Sunday, so Sunday is the first day for me. And now I'm going to start recording on Sundays because I'm, working through my schedule. But yeah, man, like I was telling my friends on Friday when we went out after the networking event, I try to, like, I don't like saying being thankful for Friday. Like, oh, like, thank you, it's finally Friday. Because then it's like, all right, like, I'm just waiting for the madness to be over so I can relax. But it's like, man, I don't know, for me, I'm like, if I start my week being positive on Monday saying, oh, like, it's Monday, like, we get a new chance, a new week for everything and stuff, like, that's a more positive outlook on the week as opposed to, it's Monday, like, and then your mood is going to get dragged down further and further, like, until it's Friday, right? But I feel like if you're positive on Monday, you'll be more able to, like, deal with things as they come, I feel. Like, you won't get stressed out as much. Like, I don't get stressed out. It's rare that I get stressed out. I was stressed out That day the lead teacher was out because of how many times he got away from me. So I was just like, damn, like, oh, that was stressful. And that was my first time with them, like 100% alone. So that was hard because there's 2 kids that I work with in the 4th grade, but it's only one of them that runs. But anyways, yeah, so talk to yourself nice, for real. Like, you do, I'm sure you do a lot, and there's a lot that goes into it. You have to balance a lot of stuff with, like, family life, friends life, work life, and your own life. You know, you have to balance all those equally so that you're giving enough time to everything, but sometimes things outweigh the other. And, you know, you have to be aware of, like, or set up that schedule of, like, damn, like, this is what I need. Like, you always have to put your needs first, because if you can't give to everyone else before you give to yourself. That just doesn't make sense. Because if you always give to them, you don't have anything left to give to yourself. Okay. I just want to make sure, you know, people understood that, and I know it made sense, right? So something else too, man, I think that's always going to help with your confidence as well, is, like, you got to face your fears head on too. Like, don't run away from it. Like, I get it. And me, I'm not a confrontational person. So there are times where, you know, I shy away from confrontation, but then there's also times where it's like, no, this has to be said and I can do it. Right. So it's always better to handle a situation head on than to just avoid it and hoping it figures itself out or fizzles out or whatever. Like, no, do it in that moment. But yeah, I don't know. It's something about when you get over that hump of, like, either insecurity or, like, being scared, and you just do it, you feel so much better. Like, with recording, man, I know first starting out I was like, oh, like, I need all this. No, man, you don't need all that. Like, I had everything I needed. Just do it. Just start. Like, your insecurity or, like, your uncertainty of what you're doing, that's what's slowing you down, right? You just gotta, like, you literally have to, like, jump in. Sometimes you have to just jump in and learn how to swim later. Like, that's what people talk about. I feel like there's a good amount of people who say, yeah, that's how I learned how to swim. Like, I was either thrown in the deep end or, like, in the ocean, and, like, I just had to learn how to do it. So that's what you gotta do. Sometimes you gotta throw yourself into the deep end and figure it out. Right? Like, with this podcast, I've been doing this podcast, 4 or 5 years? 4 years. And I'm just now learning about, you know, lighting. Like, I've never had to worry about video, but, like, just now learning about video and lighting and the, like, making clips and stuff like that. Like, granted, I know it's easier now, but man, I just had to start because I wanted to. Like, I didn't want anything holding me back to say, oh, well, no, I'm waiting for this. I'm waiting for the right moment. There is no right moment. You just have to do it and learn as you go. Like, that's literally what you have to do, because anything else is just holding you back, and that's hindering your growth. Like, you're not learning anything when you're scared to try to do something, or even scared to try new things. Like, I don't know, I jumped out of an airplane 2 years ago, and that was the most scary thing I've ever done. And now I feel like there's nothing in this world that is gonna, like, scare me, because, man, I jumped out of a plane. I could have died, but I didn't. I'm here, and it is what it is. It happened. I'm going to jump out of another plane again. I don't know when, but I want to. So yeah, man, like, just do it. Just jump. Take that leap. Everything you want is on the other side, right? But you have to make the jump. So do that. Take the jump. And, you know, also another thing, do things you're good at. Like, I know there's a list of things that you're good at. You might not think they're good, but there's stuff that you do where it comes to you easier than it does for most people. Those are the things that you work on. And then that's also going to help you say, oh, damn, like you believe in yourself a lot more because you know what you're doing. Like you can explain that to someone else with no hiccups and know what you're talking about and do it correctly. That's the stuff, like that's where your confidence lies. That is where your confidence lies. So, man, I do want to say just put yourself out there. Like, do things that you never thought you would do. Love yourself. Give yourself grace. Take care of yourself. Man, I'm not going to lie. This is going to be a little... I love Kanye West. Like, he's one of my favorite artists of all time. Like, he's on my top 5 of, like, producers, artists, like, creative in general. Like Kanye West is up there. And yeah, whatever, all the bullshit he says, yada yada, like I can't take away his artistry or his creativity. I can't do that because of who he is. Like he creates a vibe instead of like running around jumping from vibe to vibe and stuff like that. I'm not gonna say names because y'all should know who I'm talking about. But anywho, like he believes in himself so heavily, and it's like that's what I aspire to be. Yeah, it's, you know, he actually has like mental health issues and stuff that he needs to deal with for sure, but man, he believes in himself so much, so it's like you can't tell him he can't do something because he can. He's going to do it. There was that interview when he was like, the guy was like, oh, like if you were to say right now you could go play in the NBA, you couldn't do it. He was like, yes, I can. The guy's like, why? Because I believe I can. Like when you believe that you can do anything, and I don't know if y'all seen the Genius, like his documentary on Netflix. I highly recommend it. But there's a scene there, man, where his mom, like he's talking with his mom, and his mom is just like speaking life into him. And that's one of the most beautiful things ever. Like when parents speak life into their kids, and not from a privileged standpoint, but just like, yo, like you can do what you want in this world. Like you have to work at it, but you can literally do whatever the hell you want. And that's such a beautiful thing. So yeah, just do things you're good at, and trust yourself. Like believe in yourself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, how are other people supposed to believe in you? That just doesn't make sense. So I don't know. You gotta, that's also like some steps you gotta like, you just gotta be mindful of. But yeah, I do want to say those are probably like some of the biggest things, you know, like I don't really write stuff down, but I feel like I'm still able to track what I'm doing. So either with the podcast or with like my job, like I can see the growth and stuff like that. Like I'm very comfortable. Like I know when I go out, my ability to talk to a woman, like it's improved a lot. Before, when I want to say definitely before college, I didn't know how to talk to women. After, I want to say during college, I kind of knew, but I was still like, I would get hurt if I got rejected or whatever. So it wasn't until after I graduated and I started working in security and met my fun coworker Abel. Shout out to Abel. But yeah, he told me like, well, first he told me he was gonna corrupt my mind, which he did. But you know, he helped me be more comfortable and like just being able to accept rejection, right? That's also something that Gary Vee does. Like I said in the beginning, no means next opportunity. So it's like, I'm okay with hearing no when I go out. If I go out and I get rejected, like, okay, so what? Next. I'm not gonna harp on it. Like, it's like sometimes it is like, damn, that sucks. But it's like, no, I'm not stuck on it. I don't get fixated because I'm like, I know that it wasn't meant for me. That's cool. Not everything you want is meant for you. So sometimes you really do have to take that step back, take that pause, and just have it like, damn, maybe you got to take some time to yourself, and whatever you need whatever's for you will make its way to you for sure. But yeah, I think that's all I got. I feel like I gave a good amount of tips and stuff. I do want to say today's episode is brought to you by, this is not a paid sponsor because I don't get paid, but I would love to get paid, from Ken Apparel. That's where this sweater is from. It has a silk hood inside. They also make hats with silk inside, sweatsuits with silk pockets, headrest covers, and it's black owned. Y'all know how I feel about my black owned stuff, man. Like, that's my bag right there. I love black owned stuff. If it's not black owned, it has to be local. But this is black owned. I don't know where they operate out of, but it's still cool to to support that. So yeah, Thank you guys again for tuning in to another episode of Don Talk Podcast. And now it's time to say it. It's Don season, baby. Get it.
Okay, I said LOC some shit the way I handle my business. It's just me here with my family on this road to the riches. And my shorty hold it down, so I don't care for no business. My bitch do what she please. Smoking all the scuds buds, now I look Japanese. Hit the Harvey, that's the stats, cause it's resembling Steve. All this different color paper, I can't fall off the leaves. Fall leaves, different color, that's autumn. You switching like the seasons, I ain't switching the bottom. When I ain't have a